threats being made against Kobe Bryant's accuser.
Okay, speaking of Kobe Bryant, actually, he played basketball last night. We've got some video of him last night. The Lakers at home, and actually the team as a whole playing some great basketball this year. Kobe Bryant, as you see right there, scored 19 points last night as the Lakers as a team continue to actually play very well. He went 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and he telling reporters this, speaking of the team itself, we are going to get much, much better. So at this point, he continues to play basketball.
Right after that game, he flew into Eagle, and obviously just in time for today's hearing. We understand that we are going to go live once again to inside the Eagle County courtroom. This proceeding could take place any minute now. It's right on the dot, 9 o'clock, and as you were saying, Craig, this judge is very prompt.
Yes, I mean, everybody's looking at his conduct. We remember during O.J. all the delays.
Right.
And judges like to be known for their efficiency. Judge Ruckriegel is no different.
Late yesterday, there was a filing by the prosecution trying to get to the bottom of this whole issue of who leaked something to a New York Daily newspaper reporter, right?
Right. That's one of the motions which are outstanding, yet to be resolved. There was the issue of unidentified semen on the yellow underwear which the alleged victim wore to Valley View Hospital. And there was a report in the New York Daily News from a former Eagle County judge attributing his information to Hal Haddon. Hal Haddon responded with a vociferous denial, and now the prosecution is sort of backing off their claim that Hal Haddon is the source of the leak, but who exactly leaked this information has yet to be determined, and the prosecution is asking for a special investigation.
Okay, there's also this question of the victim's medical records that were, given to the defense.
At Valley View Hospital, they got a medical release, and instead of just sending the information about what they observed on July 1, they sent some records pertaining to a possible overdose/suicide attempt which occurred about a month prior. Those records were mistakenly sent to the prosecution, and then the prosecution just went ahead and sent them to Team Kobe. Team Kobe has said, we're not giving those records back until and unless a judge orders us to.
As we continue to wait here, talk a little bit about media access. Today's hearing will be televised. We don't know for certain how much of the trial to follow will be, or has that been determined?
That's why Judge Ruckriegel has so much power. An arraignment is one of those proceedings that is presumptively capable of being televised. Pre-trial hearings are not supposed to be televised. The big question, will the trial be televised? That's truly in the hands of Judge Terry Ruckriegel. It's his discretion call, and I doubt any appellate court will reverse him regardless of how he rules.
Okay, here once again is more video of Kobe. As in the past couple of appearances, he is not with his wife, which was kind of surprising to you.
Well, today might have been a good day to bring along the wife. The last 2 sessions was definitely not the time to bring along the spouse. What spouse could endure sitting in a courtroom and hearing about sex involving their husband? Understand that he's not denying that he had sex. He's just claiming it was consensual. No wife wants to hear about that. If she would have been in the courtroom at the preliminary hearing, everybody would have been watching her for reaction, and it wouldn't have been fair to her, that's for sure.
Okay. We want to point out for those of you who are just joining us who normally The View is on right now, we're waiting by, or standing by for Kobe Bryant's first hearing now in District Court. Craig Silverman with us just to kind of clarify where things are. This is a picture from inside the hallway. Once proceedings actually get underway, we will have a live feed from the courtroom itself. And actually, we're thinking, if all goes according to norms and standards, this will actually be a pretty quick hearing.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about this decorum order? What exactly does that tell the attorneys how they need to handle themselves?
Well, attorneys are not supposed to be trying their cases in the media. And here the Judge Ruckriegel, issued a specific order telling the attorneys not to do so. And if they violate that, they're under the pain of contempt. The big question is whether or not Judge Ruckriegel will, as the county court judge did, preclude mentioning of the victim's given name within the courtroom. People need to understand that it's virtually unprecedented in Colorado that an adult victim's name is not said within the confines of the court. Now, we all know that members of the media, journalists, have this self-imposed censorship where they don't report sexual assault victims' names. But that's a journalistic rule, a media-created form of censorship. It has nothing to do with the legal system where we routinely speak of adults' names. The only people whose names are not mentioned in court are confidential informants and occasionally children victims for obvious reasons.
All right, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we are going to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, of course, the very latest coverage of Kobe Bryant's most recent hearing. Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, turkey's ready.
At Safeway, we guarantee one thing will go right, your Thanksgiving turkey. With your Safeway Club Card, Manor House frozen up to 16 pounds is $4.99. Over 16 pounds, $5.99. Honeysuckle frozen up to 16 pounds is $6.99. Over 16 pounds, $7.99. Safeway, giving our best.
Have you noticed that the fancier the shopping bag, the more you have to spend? Well, I sure have. That's why I shop at Tuesday Morning. No fancy shopping bags there. Just closeout savings of 50 to 80% off retail on beautiful home accessories and gifts. It's where I find special treasures like this one. So the next time you shop, skip the fancy bags. Go straight to Tuesday Morning, where you're sure to find a treasure every time you shop.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
What's the big story in Denver tonight? We're working on it right now.
Extreme Makeovers, what you don't see next over.
And welcome back, everyone. A live picture from the hallway outside the district courtroom where Kobe Bryant will make his first appearance now in district court. Of course, he's made all of those prior appearances in county court before a district judge. Now, new proceedings, the latest, the next round, I guess you might call it, in the process. Craig Silverman is also here with us this morning.
All right, this hearing is supposed to be extremely brief. Kobe may or may not enter a plea today. All the speculation is that he will not enter this plea. And Craig, why don't you shed some light on why that might happen? What if he were to plead not guilty, for instance?
Well, if Kobe Bryant wanted this trial over with sooner rather than later, he could plead not guilty today, and then that would set speedy trial at May 13th. And they would not set it in May because that's too close to the end of speedy trial. The trial would likely be set in March or April, and then he could finish his trial and from his perspective, be free and fresh for the playoffs, which in the NBA is kind of the whole season. The other thinking is, hey, Kobe Bryant is free today. We know he's going to remain free until and unless he's convicted at trial. Normally, when you have a client who's free on bond, such as Kobe Bryant, you want to maintain that freedom and put a trial off for as long as possible. As the trial gets delayed, things can happen, and normally those things are bad for the prosecution. Witnesses lose their memories. Information is developed which might impeach critical witnesses. Normally, delay is to the benefit of the defense, but not always. The other dynamic that I think is going on is Kobe Bryant had a shock to his system as of early July. The pressure of being charged with Class 3 felony sexual assault and looking at prison is a lot for any person to bear.
Right.
But as with any major event that involves sadness, you get used to it over time. And it appears that Kobe Bryant has been able to incorporate this bad feeling into his life and continue on playing basketball, living his life. And every day, while it's not easy, it becomes more tolerable. And apparently he's able to contribute to the Lakers, so why not delay until the season's over?
Right, that was video we just saw from last night of him playing where he scored 19 points, and then he apparently came to Colorado late last night, and this is of him arriving maybe a half hour ago so here at the Eagle County courtroom or courthouse. We're not sure right now if he's in the courtroom or perhaps some adjacent room just off the side of the courtroom, and there's another live picture from the hallway.
Kind of a surprise that this hasn't started right on time. We were expecting it to start right at 9 o'clock. Can you talk a little bit about the prosecution's case? Once that preliminary hearing wrapped up, there was a lot of talk, the judge himself even saying that, in essence, that the prosecution's case was very weak. Have you been able to glean any more information about where things stand right now?
Well, their case is totally dependent on this alleged victim. They also have an outcry witness, Bobby the Bellboy, Bobby Petrak, who's a student at Fort Lewis. There have been a lot of positive reports about him. We know from the preliminary hearing that the first person who saw her was the night auditor, but the first person who heard a report from her that she had been raped by Kobe Bryant was this Bobby the Bellboy. so he's a critical witness. They're also basing their case on the physical injuries. They're claiming, how could it be consensual sex if she had this injury? Team Kobe responds, hey, one, this injury might have happened during consensual sex, and two, she might have had other sexual partners who either created a pre-existing injury or perhaps aggravated the injury after Kobe Bryant encountered her.
Okay, Craig, we're going to take a break here. We'll go back to The View, and then once the actual hearing begins, we will all be right back here. We're following every second of this, so you won't miss any of the Kobe Bryant elements today. But right now, we'll take you back to The View regular programming, and then we'll come back as soon as we have something new to tell you.
This has been a 7 News special report. We know.
That is very cool.
Like,
all right, well,
I want to go.
I know. Well, you wouldn't think that a guy in tights would turn so many people on, but that is what's happening right now, especially to Aaron. We'll explain when we come back with more Hot Topics.
Elf and Joan of Arcadia star Mary Steenburgen is spending time with the ladies tomorrow.
You know, there are still some people who don't know that the cost of their diabetes testing supplies may be covered by Medicare. Well, if you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, your testing supplies may be covered. Your monitors, your test strips, your Lancets, whether you use insulin or not. So to find out if you qualify, call Liberty Medical. Here's how it works. Liberty is a Medicare participating provider. They bill Medicare and your insurance company. You pay nothing up front. Your testing supplies are delivered right to your door and no charge for shipping. You have nothing to worry about because when it's time to reorder, Liberty will remind you. Call Liberty Medical. They can help you live a better life.
To find out if you qualify for home delivery of diabetes testing supplies, call Liberty at 1-800-564-1717. That's 1-800-564-1717.
It's the JCPenney Saturday one-day only sale. This Saturday, save big store-wide. Plus, get instant coupon savings, an extra $10 or $15 off purchases. Come in early for 8 a.m. doorbusters. Get ready for one big day.
It's all inside.
JCPenney.
Wheat Thins. That perfect little lift in your day. Tastes good, feels good. Wheat Thins.
How much for this?
$38?
20. And for this?
$100?
Think lower, Missy. True or false? My shoes cost more than all of this.
True.
We have a winner!
Pier 1 Imports.
It's Break the Safe, the new game where your family has just 30 minutes to unlock the vault and stop the clock.
20 minutes left. I'm on it.
Together, you work as a team in a race against time.
8 minutes.
Find the 4 keys while avoiding booby traps, the patrolman, and a guard dog.
Click's on the ball. Here. 1 minute.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah!
Break the Safe board game. Only a half an hour and a whole lot of fun. Batteries not included.
I hate colds.
Colds are nasty.
They're mean.
Colds are rotten day and night.
No product works harder than Tylenol Cold day and night.
I gotta be sharp, not stuffed.
I want to sleep soundly. No coughing.
It gives you the complete symptom relief you need when you need it. A non-drowsy formula for your day and one that lets you rest at night.
I can breathe.
I can breathe.
I can breathe. No more sneezing.
No more sniffling.
No more misery.
Tylenol Cold day and night.
It feels so good to be better.
It's the JCPenney Saturday one-day only sale. This Saturday, save big store-wide. Plus, get instant coupon savings, an extra $10 or $15 off purchases. Come in early for 8 a.m. doorbusters. Get ready for one big day.
It's all inside.
JCPenney.
Well, you can't deny the movie Elf is one of the biggest surprise hits this season. It stars Will Ferrell. For those of you who haven't seen it, I just saw it. It's great. He's a man who's raised by elves. He thinks he's an elf, and then he finally comes back home to meet his real dad. Throughout the entire film, he's wearing these tights, and everybody loves him. You love him.
I love a man in tights.
Why, though? What is it about a guy in tights?
Well, what do you think? I'm just kidding.
So a ballet dancer you like too?
Yeah, well, because they're very strong, and you can see if they're very strong.
You know what?
Bad girl,
Enough of
bad
this.
girl.
Let's get it right from the source. Please welcome Will Ferrell.
Saying that you were an elf, but I read in the notes that no one recognized you. They didn't even look at you.
New Yorkers would just walk right by me. Yeah.
Well, did they
ignore me.
Because it was common
Yeah.
thing.
They didn't want to make eye contact because they thought I was some strange...
Weirdo.
We have the naked cowboy down in
But
Times
I'm not.
Square.
I'm not a weirdo.
But in the tights. Did you use it as
What if I never looked at you guys?
I like you in tights. I liked you naked and old school. I thought you were great as that as well.
When you have a body like a Grecian god,
What can you do?
what can you do?
Did you use to, as a kid, did you used to dress up in costumes? I mean, is this something you're comfortable with? Or?
I used to dress up occasionally in costumes. In college, I would dress up as like a maintenance worker and
This is so funny.
find out where my friends' classes were and just barge into them.
And start cleaning or doing...
And just and say, did someone throw up in here? They told me that someone barfed, and then they would send me out. And there was one teacher who actually enjoyed me coming back.
Well, that's probably why you're so successful.
I did see the movie. Aaron saw the movie.
Loved it. It was so
great.
funny.
It's very, very funny. You're
And did
wonderful.
you guys see the movie?
Not yet. No, not yet. We haven't.
There's wonderful. James Caan plays your biological father, and he's very reticent, not happy that you're around. But this is a scene where you're trying to get to know him a little bit better.
Trying to get to know him, yes.
I plan out our whole day. First, we'll make snow angels for 2 hours, and then we'll go ice skating, and then we'll eat a whole roll of Toll House cookie dough as fast as we can, and then, to finish, we'll snuggle.
I've got to go to work, buddy. Oh, and no.
This is a 7 News special report.
And welcome back. Katie Trexler and Steve Saunders here right now. We are interrupting The View to bring you continuing coverage of Kobe Bryant's first appearance here in the Eagle County District Court today. Kobe Bryant is there in the courtroom right now. We are going to take you to those proceedings live right now.
On behalf of Mr. Bryant, he appears with us, sir.
Thank you. The matter comes on for first appearance in district court. We have been communicating in the magistrate room concerning potential scheduling dates, so I apologize for the delay. For everyone else, we wanted to make sure that we were able to do that without delaying the proceedings in court so that we could have specific dates available. At this time, how do you wish to proceed, Ms. Mackey?
Judge, we would just request that the court set some motion dates in the future. We have decided to follow the court's usual procedure and not enter a plea as of today.
All right, do you wish to have a formal reading of the information?
Judge, we would waive that. I fully advise my client of the charges against him and the possible penalties.
Mr. Hurlbert, what is your position?
No objection.
Court will grant leave for filing the information. I believe that bail was at $25,000, is that correct?
That's correct, sure, and it's a surety bond.
Surety bond has been posted, and that bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There are a few things that I wanted to address with you concerning the proceedings. There are some outstanding motions that are pending as a result of the county court deferring matters to the district court. Some of those are motion to quash subpoena from MC, motion to quash DA, motion to quash subpoena from victim, and so forth. And I would anticipate setting these matters along with the Valley View motion for protective order and Resource Center's motion to quash. December 19th is my understanding that is clear and available for everyone's calendar. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Correct from the defense, sir.
Also, there is pending district attorney's motion to enforce pretrial publicity order. Can we schedule that for December 19th likewise?
That's correct, Judge.
Are there any discovery issues that are outstanding?
There are some discovery issues outstanding, Judge. We have made some demands, requests of the district attorney's office. We're hoping to work those out in a coordinated way. And then there are some issues with regard to the scientific testing.
When will you be communicating with regard to those other discovery issues than the scientific testing?
Including the scientific testing?
No, other than the scientific testing.
That's an ongoing discussion between the prosecution and ourselves, Judge, and I anticipate we'll have telephone calls the remainder of this week trying to get those resolved.
Can you have those resolved, let's say, within 21 days, and if not, give notice to the court that those issues will also need to be addressed on the 19th?
That's fine for the defense, sir. Absolutely.
Is that agreeable, Mr. Hurlburt?
That is, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people have complied with Rule 16, and we will continue to do that and continue to work with Ms. Mackey in doing that.
As far as the scientific testing is concerned, how long has that been pending? Are we talking about scientific testing with at CBI?
Yes, Your Honor. That has been essentially been pending since the beginning of this case.
Court will order that the scientific test be completed within 30 days, that notice be given to the defense for any destructive testing that is involved, and that at least 7 days notice be given to them so that they can have the opportunity to attend and observe that testing.
Judge, I guess I have some confusion. I think there needs to be a hearing on some of this stuff. First of all, on the destruction of the evidence, and also on whether actual testing needs to be done.
A hearing on destruction meaning what?
I think as we talked about in the magistrate's room, there are some issues as to viewing of it, viewing of the testing.
Well, I've heard those issues before. I'm not sure specifically what that is. So, or how do you intend to address that?
Well, Judge, I was hoping that we'd be able to litigate that with the help of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
Well, what is it that we need to litigate? About why they don't want someone in attendance?
Exactly, Judge.
Well, then I guess you can file the appropriate motion. But if there is to be any sort of destructive testing, then the case law is clear that the defense needs to have an opportunity to be present and observe.
Exactly. But the case law also does not get into exactly how much they get to observe. There is the Colorado Bureau of Investigation policies do indicate that they can come and observe for part of the process. There is part of the process that they are not allowed to come and observe, and Judge, I think that is why we need the evidentiary hearing to decide whether there's contamination issues, to decide what sort of issues we're talking about.
Well, I think some of that has previously been litigated. If there's something new, then I'll give you 15 days that you can file a motion. But contamination, well, I'll let you file your motion.
Thank you, Judge.
And then 10 days to respond. Is that adequate?
That'll be fine, Judge. Thank you.
Does that apply to all the scientific testing to be conducted?
That does not.
Those problems?
Judge, there is one other testing that I mentioned in Chambers, that I think that there are other issues associated with it that I'd rather not go into.
Well, other issues, anything to preclude them from being completed within 30 days?
Yes, Judge, there are.
Okay, then you'll need to specify those to the court within 15 days. And if that needs to be under seal, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
15 days. As far as other motions, how much time do you wish to have?
We would request 30 days to file motions, Judge.
That's fine with the people, Your Honor.
If you have 30 days to file motions, then would we be prepared on the 19th to identify what motions could be heard at the next proceeding?
Yes, sir, I think we would. I think we would be.
Once again, you are listening to the proceedings there against Kobe Bryant in the Eagle County District Courtroom. A lot of formalities going on right now, setting some dates for some motions that will be heard there in the court. As expected, Kobe Bryant did not enter a plea, so that means that this trial will probably not take place until summer, possibly in the fall.
All right, the first specific motions date we've heard is December 19th. There are other dates still to be filed. We're not clear if Kobe Bryant actually will have to appear in court for those motions hearings. Craig Silverman says the judge could order that he appear. He could choose to waive it as well, so we have to sort that out a little bit.
All right, right now we are going to head back to The View. We appreciate you joining us for our special coverage today. Of course, any other significant developments, we will bring those to you today on 7 News at 11.
This has been a 7 News special report. We now join our